You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hit your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let their ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Bittersweet and I'm walking slow. Sensitive, feel the afterglow. Looking for things that I can't control. Fear from my past, cause it always shows. Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? Running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time it comes back to you. Whoa, I'm still falling. Whoa, but it tastes bittersweet. Whoa, I keep on falling. Whoa, I like the taste of it. I'm
Hello everyone and welcome to the Game Week 23 deadline stream.
Good boy.
Thank you everyone that has tuned into the chat early. We're pretty much just going to be going through a whole bunch of questions that you guys have got. Go through predicted lineups, all the juicy stuff coming into double Game Week 23.
Juicy stuff coming.
Steve, considering a -4 for Burnley defender, 1 clean sheet and we'll get the points back. Anything else is a bonus. I mean, Burnley have only a handful. I believe a couple of clean sheets, 2 or 3 clean sheets all season. I don't back them to get a clean sheet against either Watford or Arsenal, so I think it's probably not worth taking a hit, especially. I mean, we can have a look. Here we go. Just take a look at Tarkovsky, for example. What's it in this year? 2 clean sheets. So yeah, they've got 3 clean sheets overall this year. And they've got very difficult fixtures after the double game week, so I don't think any Burnley assets will be on the cards personally. And yeah, as I say, defensively they're not very strong. Champ Boy, big fan, bro, love from India. Awesome, man. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Huge fan of India. I went there once before, really cool. Went to Delhi and a couple other places, which is awesome. I really like India. Will it be worth bringing in Dennis for a hit? Yeah, 100%. I do think so. I think Dennis is definitely a prime target. He's got a decent fixture on. It's not the best by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still decent after the double game week. And yeah, he's been in pretty good form recently for Watford as well. So I'm liking him. He was unlucky not to get himself an assist in game week 22 there as well. What's your rank overall? We're 140k at the moment. We did take around a 20k red arrow this game week because we just quickly go over it. We had Dennis on captaincy. We also had Sissoko there as well. And we also had Madison. All 3 of those players had fixtures cancelled, which is a bit unfortunate. But a score of 55 points only saw us take a 19k red arrow to 142k. Not the worst in the world. And we also got knocked out in the cup by 1 point, which was a bit disappointing. Will Luke Shaw play or not? Let's have a look at the predicted lineup for Manchester United v West Ham. Currently, they've got him at a 0% chance of playing. They have Tellers at a 100% chance in left back, since Luke Shaw's got that thigh injury. Good call. Was only thinking of double game week. Forgot about the harder games. Scrap that. Thanks. Could have saved my game week. All good, man. Yeah, I can see the temptation, but yeah, they haven't been great defensively this year, and yeah, not got the best fixtures afterwards. King triple captaincy, definitely not the worst call. It's a very good double game week. I'll see if he can put the returns on the board. I'd definitely just be waiting for Salah to have a good double game week and triple captain him. But if you want to take the risk, I do think it's not a bad shout. Is it worth transferring in Foster? We'll be benching De Gea. I don't think it's worth transferring in Foster. I'm predicting him to only get 3 or 4 points this week. I can see Watford not getting any clean sheets and potentially conceding 2 goals in a game, which would therefore see him take the minus point. And especially with the De Gea goals as well, it's still a fairly decent keeper to have that you'd put on the bench. King or Dennis for captaincy, it's a very difficult decision. I think the majority of people will be leaning towards Dennis because he's got a high ownership. But King's been putting up good underlying numbers there as well. Personally, we are going for Dennis because we have Dennis in the squad. Who to get for Gundogan, Coutinho or Foden? Got 2 mil in the bank. I think Foden's not a bad shout, except he's a doubt to start this game week. Coutinho is another good one to consider. Gundogan, I'm not so sure about. I think if I'm going for that City midfielder, it would be Foden. So yeah, I would be tossing up between Foden and Coutinho. Maybe since the Coutinho's only played a handful of minutes so far this year, you could go Foden and hope that he starts. Any Burnley assets? I mean, ideally, I wouldn't go for any Burnley assets. If I had to pick one, Maybe a Dwight McNeil or a defender potentially.
Dwight.
But otherwise, I wouldn't be looking at any. Reece James to Laporte and Gray to Coutinho from -4 suggestions. Yeah, not a bad shot. I do think Laporte is going to start. I think he had like a 90% chance of starting according to Fix there as well. And then Coutinho, he should be starting as well. I think they've got him at 100% chance to start. And Villa have great fixtures. And hopefully they get a double game week soon.
Do it on the mic. Do it on the mic. Choke on the water.
When is Salah due to come back? Right now they've got him at the 10th of Feb, which would see him play against Leicester at home on the game week 24. It just depends how far Egypt go in AFCON. If we have a look at their schedule, I believe Egypt did make it through to the round of 16. And they've got Ivory Coast, who I believe are fairly decent. They finished top of their group. Let's have a look at the Ivory Coast team real quick. They beat Algeria 3-1 today. Let's have a look at that lineup. Notable names: Serge Aurier, Kessie, Seri, Pepe, and Sebastian Haller. So it's a fairly decent team. I'd probably expect the lads from Ivory Coast to beat Egypt. And that match is on the 27th of Jan. And if we look at that in terms of FPL, 27th of Jan, that's just after 20 game week 23, and then that's still plenty of days left before 11th of Feb, so I'd probably expect him to be back for game week 24 for sure. A -12 for Dennis, Foster, Dean and Madison. In for Son, Brozier and Shaw. Is it worth it or not? I would say most likely not. I wouldn't go for Foster in, and I also wouldn't go for Madison in, because if you're looking at Madison, yeah, he's been an alright touch, but he's got Brighton this week, and then after that he's got some horrendous fixtures: Liverpool, West Ham, Wolves, and then a blank in 27. So not great for those games. We are looking to move him on after this week as well, so I definitely wouldn't be transferring him in. Dennis in is a good call. Luca Dean in is a good call as well, but I'm not sure this week against Everton away is the right week to go for it. And they should be getting a double game week soon, so maybe against Leeds at home in 24 is the right move to go there. After that, they got Newcastle, Watford, Brighton, Southampton. So maybe Dennis would just be the target for you that way. Foden or Sterling, a very good question. I think Sterling is more likely to start this week. And where he's occupying on that flank, I think Southampton are a bit weaker on his side defensively, so I think Sterling could be reaping the rewards there, and potentially top score for City in that game in terms of FPL points. So maybe Sterling this week. Ronaldo and Gray for Dennis and KDB. Or Antonio and Gray for Dennis and Coutinho. It's tough. I think I'd hold Ronaldo potentially. And go Antonio, Gray for Dennis and Coutinho, just because Ronaldo's got good fixtures coming up. And he had a lot of chances against West Ham the first time they played. And I've heard a couple of West Ham fans say they're not confident that they've been defending that well at the moment. And I believe Ronaldo had a couple of, I think 4 shots or something on target against them last time. And he could have had a lot more than just his 1 goal. So I think keeping Ronaldo this week's a good shout. Emerson and Ronaldo to Laporte and Watkins. As I say before, same thing. I think I'd still hold Ronaldo this week. he put up some really great numbers against West Ham last time, and yeah, West Ham defensively haven't been great recently. I think if we're looking at how they've been going in the sense of clean sheets, they got one against Norwich and then one against Burnley. So what's that? 2 clean sheets since game week 10. 2 clean sheets since game week 10. They conceded 3 goals to Leeds in their most recent game. They also conceded 2 to Palace. I mean, yeah, I think Ronaldo this week's a good hold. Fernandes for KDB. I wouldn't necessarily get rid of Fernandes either. He's been in great touch recently. He's done very well in his last couple of games. And yeah, I think West Ham at home is not the world's worst fixture, as I've said before, with their defensive form. So if you already have Fernandes in the team, I think I'd hold him this week. De Bruyne or Coutinho this game week? I think this game week De Bruyne is a better option for sure. I think it's very hard to judge Coutinho after only playing a handful of minutes in game week 22. But yeah, I think it's more of a wait and see with Coutinho. But yeah, De Bruyne's got a great fixture. He's been in great form. Best replacement for Son. I think Rafinha is a great replacement. He's a very strong transfer in this week. You could go for a Villa asset of Coutinho maybe, but that's obviously slightly more risky because he hasn't played that many minutes. Phil Foden for City as well is a nice choice. Or you could go, if you have money in the bank, you could go up to De Bruyne. I think is a great premium option in midfield at the minute. But yeah, we look at the Villa starting lineup. I think they had Coutinho at a 100% chance to start against Everton. Yeah, they got Martinez, Cash, Horse, Mings, Target, Coutinho, John McGinn, Traore, Ings, Wendia. I think Watkins should be starting as well, hopefully. But yeah, they have Coutinho at a 100% chance to start. It's nice. And then City's team with De Bruyne. There was a couple of interesting ones with City. I think Fix don't actually have Foden as a projected starter. De Bruyne at an 84% chance to start. The other one is Sterling with a 53% chance. And Foden with a 47% chance. Just depends if Jesus takes Foden's spot or not. But that's always interesting. Always never know right until the team lineups come out. Can I get Cash or Dean to replace Region? It's definitely an interesting one. I would for sure be looking to bring in those Villa defenders. Region, Chelsea away this week, then Southampton at home, then Wolves at home. Wolves haven't been scoring that many goals either, and Southampton at home is still a decent fixture. I can definitely see the temptation to go for the Aston Villa defenders now because he's got City after that as well. So I do think this game makes a nice shout. If I could go for a Villa defender right now, it would be Luca Dean. So I'd probably go Dean in to replace Region. I think it's a decent transfer for sure. Despite Everton away not being the best fixture this week, Everton have been, as I've said many times recently, shambolic. We'll just quickly pull up their recent games. Lost to Norwich, lost to Brighton, drew to Chelsea, that's not bad. Lost to Palace. It's not great from Everton, is it? And yeah, it's really not great. So yeah, and the manager's been sacked, so you just never know how they're going to go. But I think, yeah, getting those Villa assets now is a nice shout. It is obviously a slight risk because despite Everton losing a lot of games, they've still been scoring in each. But I think long-term fixtures-wise, the Villa defenders are worth. which mid should I go for? I've got Gray, Bowen, Jota, Odegaard, Lucas Moura. I've got 5.4 million in the bank. I think Odegaard would be the one for me. It depends. Yeah, we can get him up like this. It's just very rough because Arsenal haven't played in a while. They've only played, one game since game week 19. They have got good fixtures. Odegaard, personally, what's his minutes been like? 62 minutes in his recent game. He did have a fairly good spell of form before this. I think Gray, another good transfer out. With 5.4 mil, I'd be looking to move on either Gray or Odegaard to the premium option of Kevin De Bruyne. I also think having Rafinha in there for either Gray or Odegaard as well is necessary. Would you do Bernardo, Antonio, Son to Watkins, KDB and Rafinha for -4? I'd be happy with a Bernardo to KDB and Son to Rafinha. I think I'd still hold on to Antonio. He has 4 returns in his last 5. Despite Watkins having good fixtures, his form hasn't been the best. So I think save that -4. Keep Antonio this week. Yes, it's a tough fixture, but Antonio's been in good form. West Ham still have got good fixtures after this. Watford home, Leicester away, Newcastle at home. 3 teams that have been conceding a bucket load of goals recently.
Fucking glasses. Striker pose.
Yes, Daddy. Keep Captain King. Captain King or Dennis. I think we go Dennis as captain. We've got Dennis in our team. It's really personal preference because it's so close. Yeah, obviously King's been putting up great underlying stats, but Dennis has been putting more FPL points on the board. Should I keep Bernardo Silva? I'd be definitely looking to move him on for another City asset such as Foden or De Bruyne if you can. But yeah, I can see how people have fallen into the trap of keeping Bernardo Silva because City, they're a great team. Bernardo Silva's getting starting minutes and they've got good fixtures, but I do think there's better options in that starting lineup. But I've been definitely waiting for a bigger double game week before you pull the trigger on the bench boost because it's such a valuable ship. If you can get 3 or 4 players all double game weeks on your bench, I think that's the play that you make. Sorry lads, I do apologise for the stream buffering at the moment. It might be a bit laggy. Yes.
Yeah, good.
How long is the stream been live for? 24 minutes. I have Martinelli, Salah. Who should I go? I think the best option in for Son's probably Rafinha at the moment. Leeds have got an excellent fixture of Newcastle at home. And after that, they've got some fairly good long-term fixtures. I still think Villa away and Everton away, 2 good fixtures. Same with United at home and Spurs at home, 2 teams that their defence has been slightly underperforming this year. Leicester away conceding a lot of goals. Norwich at home is good, and they've got decent fixtures after that. I think up until game week 32, Rafinha's a very good lock in the team unless he gets injured. Hopefully he doesn't. Knock on wood there. But yeah, and that just allows you to free up a lot of money there as well. You could even go for De Bruyne as well as a premium shout. Rudiger replacement, so you could go for Aston Villa defence. They've obviously got great fixtures. You could go for a double up of Liverpool. If you don't have Salah, you could go double up of Liverpool in defence. You could go double up of City in defence. They've got great fixtures. Look at them. Southampton, Brentford, Norwich, Spurs, Everton, United, Palace, Brighton, Burnley. Their first match where I'd say is a doubt for a clean sheet is against Liverpool in 32. So I can see maybe a double up there being viable. Son to KDB and Tony to any 5 mil attacker, or Son to Foden and Tony to Watkins. I think it'd be smarter to go Son to Foden and Tony to Watkins because Simply, even though KDB is a better asset than Phil Foden in FPL, I think having the squad depth, having 2 players that can give you points, is better than just having 1 player. Because if you think about it, Foden and Watkins are definitely going to outscore just KDB, because I guarantee you can be benching the 5 mil forward. You got Bruno, Silva, Jota and Madison. Which player should I transfer out? If I can move one of them on, it'd be Bernardo. Madison's got a good fixture this week. I move him on after this week. Bruno's been in good form. He's got a decent fixture. Jota's got a great fixture and has been in good form. So I think Bernardo Silva would be the one. You could go to Rafinha. Nigel Fernandez, GK, Ramsdale, defence, Trent Cancelo, Alonso, midfield, Martinelli, Trossard, Jota, Bowen, Bernardo. Forwards, King and Watkins. Subs, Lloris, Ronaldo, Darlow, Rhys James. 1 free transfer and 0.8 mil in the bank. So first of all, I'd definitely be starting Ronaldo instead of Martinelli or Trossard. Shit, yeah. Brighton are what? They got Leicester away. I'd definitely be looking to start Ronaldo instead of Martinelli at least. King and Watkins is a fine forward line. Jota's fine. Bowen's alright. Bernardo maybe is the transfer. Ramsdale's fine in goals. Of course, Trent Cancelo is decent. Alonso has got Spurs at home. That's not that bad. I mean, you could potentially just roll a transfer, start Ronaldo instead of either Martinelli or Trossard, and that's still a decent team there. What are your thoughts on Cody over Laporte? Yeah, I definitely rate the Wolves' defence as probably the 2nd or 3rd best defence in the league right now. Their defensive form's been absolutely outstanding, and obviously Connor Cody is so much better value. And then the City defence. In terms of Wolves fixtures, they got Brentford this week. It's a bit tricky after that. Arsenal, Spurs, Leicester, West Ham. Those 4, you don't know, but they've been getting clean sheets against the likes of Manchester United, Chelsea. Only consider 1 to City, only consider 1 to Liverpool. So I mean, they're hardly conceding against the best teams in the competition. So if you're looking for some value, Wolves defence definitely a smoky for some points at the moment. The likes of Connor Cody, or even the one I'm liking is Max Kilman. He's started, I believe, every single game, hasn't missed a single minute. Yeah, he's got 1 goal, 1 assist. He's slightly more of an attacking threat from set pieces, I'd say, than Cody. Watching a lot of Wolves games, being a Wolves fan. 1.6% ownership, and he's a little bit cheaper than Cody there as well. I believe 0.2 cheaper. So yeah, definitely a nice budget option in defence. That's a good differential for some nice clean sheet points. James out, Luka Dean in. Yeah, like it. That's also a good transfer plan. If you're going to use your free transfer, yeah. What are your thoughts on Cody? As I said before, hey man. Gray to Sterling and Ronaldo to Dennis. How's this transfer move? I can afford Salah next week for free. So I'm assuming you're going to have Sterling as your placeholder for Salah. I mean, Dennis in is a good transfer. I don't know if Ronaldo out is the guy I'd be doing it for. I mean, ideally, between... if you could have Ronaldo and Salah as your 2 premiums, I'm liking that. But yeah, it's not bad either. If you want to go for Sterling as the other midfield premium with Ronaldo, with Salah, still a decent option for sure. Arsenal's game might get called off from Ronaldo to swap in. I just start Ronaldo. 100% I'd be starting Ronaldo. There's no way I wouldn't start Ronaldo in that team. Thoughts on who's going to get more points? Rafinha, Watkins, I reckon Rafinha. Have Ramsdale and Backman. Which one to start this week? Ramsdale, even though Watford have the double. Watford's defence is not the best. Double Man City defence, I think it's not a bad shout. Triple Captain King, definitely a good smoky for a triple captain. Personally, we're not going to send it that hard. I think it's a big risk, but it could definitely pay off. Very strong double game week, putting up good numbers. We might just wait for Salah double game week, play it safe, play it boring. Nelvin, I truly appreciate you doing this live stream. They really help. Thanks so much, mate. I really love that. That's made the day. For double Chelsea defence owners, who is the best replacements? I think, as I touched on before, Villa are coming into some good defensive fixtures. Or even double City defence is not a bad shout. Or even a Wolves defender as well, as we were talking fairly extensively about before. Very cheap options. Kilman's there at 4.5. Cody's there at 4.7. They're playing every week. Wolves are playing so well defensively. Such good value. Kane to Dennis or King for a hit? It's always going to be the great divide of this question. People can't decide between Dennis and King. We've got Dennis in our team. I think the majority of people do have Dennis. I'd say it'd be around like a 65-35 split between Dennis and King owners. Dennis has just been putting a lot of FPL points on the board at the minute. Have Foster, Dennis, King and Alonso on the bench. Is it worth a bench boost? It's a very strong bench. What's the starting XR like? That's what I want to see. But yeah, it's a very nice bench. If you've got a strong starting 11, then I mean that's definitely viable for a bench boost for sure. Sterling's not a placeholder. I will be having Salah and Sterling. Well, yeah, I like that then. I do like that for sure. Thoughts on Dennis in for Brozier? Someone in for Dean and Son for who? It'd be Rafinha. I think the best Son replacement this week for me is Rafinha. Excellent long-term fixtures, been in great form, look great in game week 22. Very good value. FPL Penguin, hey mate, how's it going? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Always good to have you in, mate. It's really, really good. Also, anyone in the chat, make sure you head over and sub to FPL Penguin. That man puts out some great FPL content there as well. Dennis is a risky captain. Just don't trust Burnley going ahead with that game.
Don't correct him, just leave it.
Yeah, it'd be painful if Burnley don't go ahead with the double game week. Have Foster, Dennis, King, and Alonso bench, as I said before. Yeah, good bench boost opportunity. Ronaldo to Dennis and Lucas Moura to KDB for -4. I don't mind it. I think if you're going to replace Ronaldo for any other premium option right now, it'd either be Salah, KDB, or maybe even Sterling. De Gea, Cancelo, Trent, Reguilon, Mount, Foden, Jota, Maddison, Kane, Dennis, Antonio. What do you think about the team? Thinking about changing Mount for Saka, or what do you think? Well, Mount's got a decent fixture this week. Maybe you could hold on to him for one more week. And I think Rafinha would be the guy that comes into that team for you. I'm really liking Rafinha at the moment. For the coming game weeks, Superclock YT, who is your captain? We're going with Dennis this week. He's got the double game week at the moment, but as FPL Penguin wisely pointed out, you never know whether Burnley are gonna cancel. Regardless, Norwich at home is still a very good fixture. We have got Rafinha there against Newcastle at home on Vice if somehow Dennis doesn't play this week. But I am happy to have him on the captaincy, even though if he doesn't have that second fixture, Norwich at home is a great one to have. Rafinha to Trossard or Kyle Walker to Target? I mean, I'd definitely keep both Rafinha and Kyle Walker this week. I think Fix have got Walker as the predicted starting right back for City. Great fixture for clean sheets. And Rafinha's got an incredible fixture against Newcastle at home.
Is Coutinho left or right wing?
He's playing as Cam.
Oh. But what's his actual position?
Cam on left wing. Will Aston Villa be having a double game week? It looks to be at this point that all the double game weeks have been confirmed. And the only ones there is going to be Watford and Burnley, which is annoying because I thought Villa were going to get that double game week this week. I'll just double check. There's not been any other updates yet, so it looks to be that the Watford one is the only one. There is the starting 11 real quick if anyone's interested. Cancelo in for Diaz or not worth it? Bank a transfer for next week. Cancelo is always a great FPL option. If you don't have Cancelo on your team, I'd really consider getting him in. I really don't think it matters who it's for. I think Cancelo in the team is such a great option. Nice. Foden or Rafinha as captain, not truly trusting Dennis because he disappointed me last game week. I mean, it's not necessarily his fault because it's not his fault the fixture got postponed.
Oh.
And he was unlucky not to get an assist, actually. So I still think, despite Dennis's fixture getting postponed, I know it's frustrating for managers when that happens. But, I mean, the players are still doing the best they can to score points. And I think Dennis is still a great shout. In terms of vice captaincy, though, if you don't want to captain Dennis, the next best option for me is Rafinha against Newcastle at home. Rafinha's got a great record against Newcastle. He scores a lot of goals against them. KDB or Foden? Ideally, you go for KDB, but I mean, if you want to save the extra money, I still think you don't want to go past Foden as a budget option. But simply, if I had to pick one, I'd go for KDB. Bring in De Bruyne and bring Salah back in 26. Well, Salah should be back in 24, so you're just going to have to pray that he's not going to score big points 25 and 26. We've got Salah sitting on our bench at the minute, and we're really hoping that he can do something 25, 26. But yeah, I think De Bruyne's another great premium option at the minute. Cheers, mate. Nice. Will Foden start? According to Fix, he's only at a 47% chance to start at the moment. So they've got Jesus as the starting striker or centre forward, if whatever want to call it for City there. But sometimes, obviously, it's always very difficult to predict the City lineup. It's really 50-50 for Phil Foden. It's whether Jesus takes his spot or not for me. But I'd give it a 50-50. Can we make a triple captain Dennis? You can definitely make a case for a triple captain Dennis for sure. If both games go ahead, then there's no reason why he can't get at least double digits this game week for sure. If he gets a goal in one of the games, that's 6 points. Give him a couple of bonus points plus 2 for playing in the next one. That's at least 10. Maybe he gets an assist in another one. You never know. We could be getting a 15-pointer potentially. And triple A, that's 45. Mahrez back from AFCON. Yeah, that's true. Except I think he's going to be competing with Sterling for the spot. But I don't know if he's going to come straight back into the City team from AFCON.
Mahrez usually gets subbed though.
Yeah, it's true. Mahrez usually does get subbed on as well for a bit. So that's definitely a good point and one to look out for, but I think it'd be a doubt that Mahrez just comes straight back in to start. Bowen or Smith Rowe to start? I'd still definitely go Bowen, even though he has a difficult fixture. The form is unbelievable from that man. I believe it's 3 goals and 5 assists in his last 5, which is Very good. Yeah, 3 goals and 5 FPL assists because some of the assists are a bit dodgy, but he gets them at least. Who would you play, Foden over Madison, Jota or Saka? I'd go Foden instead of... Actually tough. With the 50-50 of Foden starting, maybe Madison. He's got great form. Brighton have struggled for clean sheets. Leicester's playing at home. Madison's been excellent. And I'd start Jota instead of Saka. Who to bench? Coutinho, Cody or Madison? To have Wolves got again. Brentford away. It's a great opportunity for a clean sheet for Wolves. It's a very tough decision. Coutinho's got a decent fixture, but Everton away. Is the Arsenal v Burnley game on for sure? It looks to be that game should be going ahead. You just never know whether Burnley pull out of fixtures or not. So hopefully the stream has fixed up. It was very late there for a second. Thanks for everyone being patient and staying in the stream. Bring in Rafinha or Foden. I'm liking Rafinha, even though Foden has got a good fixture this week, playing a very good side. Rafinha's showing great form. Newcastle at home, it doesn't get much better than that. And Rafinha's got an excellent record against Newcastle. How likely is Raheem Sterling to start? He's a 53% chance to start, but I think he's a little bit more likely than that because in his position, you've got him competing with Mahrez and maybe Jesus if he pushes out wide, but I wouldn't be too concerned about Jesus. And Mahrez only just getting back from AFCON, so I'd have to say I'd be surprised if Mahrez just comes straight back in to start ahead of Sterling. So I think it could be potentially a little bit higher than that. Coutinho will probably not start because of low play time and not that good shape. Probably will start next game. Well, Fix have actually got him at a 100% chance to start, so they're extremely confident. Which is interesting. Best midfielder option for 6 million or less long term. 6 million or less, you're really cutting off a lot of options. We'll filter it real quick. At mids, Conor Gallagher's C 6.1. Trossard's a decent shout, 6.1 as well. Brighton got decent long-term fixtures. Demarai Gray maybe is the only other option. Everton have still got a decent little run of fixtures there. That's 4 weeks. I think it'd be those 3 only that I've mentioned there. Bernardo to Coutinho, definitely a big punt because Coutinho hasn't been getting that many minutes. Well, he hasn't had that many minutes so far, but Villa have got good fixtures. Shiraz, Foden, Jota, Trent, Cancelo, captain. I'm liking either Trent or Cancelo with those double chance of returns with the attacking potential and defensive potential. Great to Lucas. Or KDB, Rafinha, or both for -4. I mean, I would definitely justify going for both for -4, to be fair. They've got very good fixtures. Both KDB and Rafinha, and have both been in good form. King triple captain. Yeah, I think the Watford assets of Dennis and King are not bad shouts for triple captain. Personally, we're waiting for Salah to get the nice double game. We can just go triple captain on him. But if you're looking for a differential triple captain, I think this game makes a decent opportunity to do so. Who to transfer out, Ronaldo or Antonio to bring in Dennis? It's very difficult. I think Antonio's been in better form than Ronaldo, so maybe you could go for moving out Ronaldo for Dennis. Even though I do think Ronaldo will outscore Antonio this game week. Longer term, maybe Antonio's better. Ronaldo to Dennis, captain for sure, but is it a good move to go Gray to Foden for -4? Gray's still got good fixtures, but I think Foden in this week against Southampton away is definitely a good opportunity for some points. He is 50-50 to start though, Foden. That's the only thing you have to consider with that. Israel. I have Bowen, Jota, Gray and Lucas in midfield, bringing in KDB/Coutinho or Rafinha for Gray and Lucas for a -4. So you go Rafinha in for Lucas, and then ideally, if you can afford it, KDB in for Gray. Gray to Rafinha or Smith Rowe to Rafinha. It's difficult. Maybe Smith Rowe to Rafinha. Maybe Smith Rowe to Rafinha. Is it worth bringing in KDB for Goodner for a -4 or just play Goodner and Antonio instead? I'm honestly could definitely justify a -4 for bringing in KDB. Such good FPL asset. Hi mate, 1 free transfer. Thinking about Madison to Rafinha or Sterling. Which one do you prefer? Already have Foden, King and Foster for the double game week. I mean, if you already got Foden, then I think I'd go for Rafinha just to avoid the double up on the City attack, because there's always going to be rotation there. Sorry, I go Rafinha instead of Sterling. Yeah, just to avoid the double up, since you've already got Foden in the City attack. Michael Parks can hear the other guy in the background saying chips. Yeah.
The other guy in the background.
Yeah, he's the editor for the channel. He's a bit of a donkey sometimes, to be honest. Harsh but fair. Start Cash or Antonio. Maybe Antonio. I think Aston Villa might not get the clean sheet this week. And Antonio, despite playing Manchester United away, he's been hot at the moment. Bench boost this with Foster, Dennis, King, Alonso, starting 11, Ramsdale, Trent, Cancelo, Laporte, Diaz, Dean, Jota, Saka, Bowen, Bruno, Ronaldo. Honestly, that's a great opportunity for a bench boost. 3 bench boost players, 3 double gaming players there, plus Alonso with a good fixture. I think the squad is just about prime for a bench boost this week for sure. Which one to start from Dawson and Emerson Royale? I mean, Emerson probably offers more attacking potential. I think both sides won't receive clean sheets. So maybe Emerson for that, just for having slightly more attacking potential.
Don't touch me.
Can I do Broja to Pedro for -4 considering I'll get back 4 points if he just plays both games? Already have Dennis. I'm assuming you mean João Pedro from Watford. If you could go for another Watford forward, ideally it'd be King. But I don't know if it's necessarily worth going, for João Pedro. He obviously played well in 22, but it's a bit of a risk for -4, even though he's got a double game week, because you're almost definitely going to be booking another transfer down the line to get rid of him in a couple of weeks. If you do bench boost that team, not sure who to captain. I think I'd still go for a player with a double game week. What you said, you had King and Dennis. I guess you just try to decide between those two who's going to be the captain. I think, even though potentially the Burnley fixture gets postponed, if Burnley makes some excuse not to play, Norwich at home is still a nice fixture. Also, in around 5 minutes or so, we'll be wrapping up the stream. So if anyone else has final questions that you want us to answer before we end the deadline stream, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Also, if we can't answer any of your questions on stream, feel free to message us on either Instagram or Twitter, and we'll try and respond to you there. So if you're not taking the -4 to bring in Pedro, I mean, it is a bit of a risk. I don't know if it's necessarily worth the punt, to be honest, because, as I say, you're probably just going to be moving him on in a couple of weeks' time. Is Foster worth a -4? I don't think so. I think Foster may only score 4 points or potentially 3 points this week. I don't trust Watford's defence, despite having a decent set of fixtures. I think Norwich will still score, and I think Burnley will also score one, maybe a couple. Mark, I think Foden or Sterling will get a hatful. Yeah, you just don't know which City assets it's going to be, but for sure I reckon they could have a day out, absolutely. You got João Pedro in already. I'd love to captain him, not knowing if he's nailed though. On the topic, I'll just quickly give you his starting percentage just to help you out with that. João Pedro. I'm not... he's got a fairly low... starting percentage. It's sitting... I see he's sitting at 76%, that's my bad. That's still decent. Worth keeping Ronaldo for the matches post West Ham if you have enough cash to upgrade a midfielder to Salah. No, I don't think so. I think Salah's always the priority premium option for sure. Too risky to captain Foden? Potentially, yeah. For me, he's a 50-50 to start. Foster, Alonso, Cancelo, Trent, Robbo, Foden, Rafinha, Bowen, Saka, Ronaldo, and King. Bench, target, Grey Pookie. Is it worth going from -4 to bring in Kyle Walker? I think the defence is fairly strong this week with Alonso, Trent, Cancelo, Robbo. I think I'd maybe hold off the -4. Foden or Greenwood in both very good fixtures. That's true. I think I'd be leaning towards Foden just because he's playing in the better attacking side. And he's shown quite a lot from good underlying numbers standpoint for Foden. There was on pens for Watford. I think King's on pens for Watford. KDB in for Salah. I think right now getting rid of Salah is not the best play. I think you're only going to be missing him for one more game. So if you just hold off this week, try and work around Katie, maybe try and figure out a different way to bring him into the squad. But I think Salah out right now if you still have him. It's probably not the play. Shiva, good luck for the game week. Thanks, mate. You too. As always, good luck to everyone for game week 23. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully we all take massive green arrows. Keith Cock. Hi, Antonio or DCL to a Watford striker. I think Antonio's got 4 returns in his last 5, so maybe get rid of DCL to the Watford striker. Gundo to Foden for a hit. Maybe not. Alright guys, so that's pretty much everything we've been able to answer. Sorry for any lag in the stream as well. And as I say, good luck for everyone for game week 23. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.